Some altars are not made of stone. They are made of silence, of memory, of a friend's smile when they offer you exactly what you asked for. This is the testimony of Thomas Reeves, a man who learned that some guardians do not protect. They keep. And what they keep, they never let go. Family, this is the Dread Codex. Gather close. Turn down the lights. The story begins. I wear a silver cross. I say my prayers. But I no longer believe in a God who listens. I believe in one who answers. And I have met her. In the fall of 2003, I was 17 and certain of three things. God was good. Friends were forever. And faith was a light that no darkness could touch. I was wrong about all of them. My hometown, Mercy's Rest, was a dying breath in the Appalachian foothills. My two best friends were Luke and Peter. Peter was quiet, not with shyness but with a kind of waiting. His uncle, Mr. Crow, taught local history in a room that smelled of dust and forgotten things. He spoke of places that remembered, of promises the land never forgot. One day, he told us of the shepherd's well. Not a well for water, a well for offerings. A place where the early settlers would leave tokens for safe passage through the hollers. But after the fever of 1893, after the silence settled in, the well was sealed. Not out of reverence, out of fear. Some places, Mr. Crow said, his voice like pages turning in an empty library, don't just remember prayers. They collect them. We laughed. But Peter didn't. He just watched me, as if he already knew what I would ask for. It was Peter who found it. Deep in the woods, past the broken trestle, where the trees grew twisted toward something we couldn't see. He called it a blessing site, a place where God listened closely. I was the believer, the faithful one. So when Peter looked at me and said, "Pray here," mean it. See what happens. I took it as a challenge to my faith. I should have heard it for what it was. An invitation. We went at dusk. The well was a stone mouth half sunk in the earth, filled with black water. Above it, carved into the rock, was the shape of a shepherd with no face, just hollows for eyes, deep and dark. Peter unpacked his offering. A jar of clear liquid that wasn't water. Raw meat wrapped in wax paper. Black candles that smelled of tallow and decay. "Kneel," he said. His voice was low. ritualistic. Close your eyes. Ask for something. Mean it. I knelt. The wet earth seeped through my jeans. I closed my eyes. And I prayed for my grandmother, who was drowning slowly in her own lungs. I prayed for her peace. When I opened my eyes, Peter was smiling. It was a smile that didn't belong on a teenager's face. It was old, satisfied. Luke was pale, backing away. "We shouldn't be here," he whispered. That night, I dreamed of hands holding me under in something thick and cold. I woke gasping. The next morning, my grandmother passed in her sleep. My mother called it a mercy. I stood by her bed, my skin cold, my heart a frozen drum. And a thought rose in me, clear and absolute. You did this. You were heard. 3 days later, the hollowing began. It wasn't illness. It was an erosion. Food turned to ash in my mouth. Music became noise. Prayer became words spoken into a void that listened and smiled. I would sit for hours, watching the shadow in the corner of my room thicken. Breathe. Pulse. My parents took me to doctors, to the Reverend. The Reverend laid his hands on me and prayed until his palms shook. He pulled away, face like chalk. "There's something holding on," he whispered. "It won't be prayed away. It feeds on prayer." Luke came to see me one last time. He looked thin, haunted. "Peter's gone," he said. "His uncle, too. Transferred. No forwarding address." He wouldn't meet my eyes. "Thomas, after you prayed, I saw something in the water. Looking back." He pressed a twisted piece of silver into my hand, a broken root-shaped pendant, cold as a deep winter stream. "My granny gave me this. She said if I ever saw something that shouldn't be seen, to wear it and never take it off." His eyes finally met mine. They were full of tears and fear. "I think you need it more than I do." He left. He moved away that week. I never saw him again. The pendant helped. It was like a cork in a bottle of dark water. The cold receded. The whispers faded. I almost believed I was healing. Then, one December night, I woke to the sound of dripping. Not from the faucet. From the ceiling above my bed. Black, thick water beating and falling onto my chest. It burned cold. And a voice not in the room, but inside my mind. A woman's voice, waterlogged and slow, singing, "I once was found, but now I'm bound." I stumbled to the window. My reflection was wrong. Behind me in the glass stood a woman-shaped shadow, dripping, her head tilted too far to the left. Her mouth was a dark hollow. The voice spoke again inside me. Mine. It wasn't a threat. It was a deed, a title, a covenant signed in faith and sealed in sorrow. My father drove me up into the deepest hollers to see a widow named Ada May. Her eyes were like cracked porcelain. She took one look at me and said, "You fed it. Now it feeds on you." She sat me in her kitchen, lit herbs that smelled of soil and iron, and spoke, not to me but to what was inside me. My body locked. My head tilted back. A voice that was not mine, choked and wet, poured out of my mouth. My mother wept. "Take me instead, please." My head turned toward her, slow and wrong. And the voice that came out was not the woman's. It was Peter's, clear, calm, smiling. He gave her his name. She keeps what she's given. Then it was gone. I slumped forward, gasping. Ada May's face was grim. "It's a covenant," she said. "It can't be broken. Only managed." She gave my father a pouch of salt, ash, and bitterroot. "Make a tea. Every sundown." Then she took the pendant from my neck, breathed onto it, and clasped it back. "This stays on. Always. It's not a shield. It's a leash. For her and for you." For years, I drank the tea. I wore the pendant. I built a quiet life. A small life. The cold never left my bones, but it stayed in the corners. It waited. Then in 2013, my car hit black ice. When I woke in the ambulance, my first thought was the pendant. It was gone. The chain had snapped. I had left it on the sink that morning. I had broken the only rule. That night in the hospital, the lights flickered. The heart monitor faltered. The cold poured into the room like water into a sinking ship. And from the shadows she formed. Not a ghost, not a memory. A presence, ancient, patient, made of wet soil and dark water, and answered prayers. She leaned over my bed. The smell of damp earth and dead flowers filled the air. Her voice was inside me, in the marrow of my bones. Mine. I felt her seep back into me, deeper than before, filling every space the pendant had kept empty. Filling the silence I had mistaken for peace. I wear the pendant again now. The chain is new, stronger. But the cold has settled in my chest for good. She is with me always. In the chill of an empty room. in the drip of a faucet in the dead of night. She is my guardian, my warden, the shepherd of my silent, borrowed soul. And sometimes in my dreams I see the well, and I see Peter standing beside it, not older, unchanged, smiling. And I know he is still out there, leading other believers to the altar, feeding the thing that feeds on me. As for Luke, I hope he still wears his silver. I hope he found a way to live with the cold. But in my darker moments, I wonder if he just learned to stop feeling it altogether. This is the story of the shepherd's well. It is not a ghost story. It is a covenant. The most dangerous evil does not attack your faith. It answers it. It does not break your prayers. It keeps them. So listen closely, family. If a friend offers you a blessing that feels too easy, if the price is whispered, not spoken, walk away. Some altars are always hungry. Some shepherds do not care for their sheep. They only care for the lease on their souls. If you have a story that haunts you, send it to contact.drdreadcodex@gmail.com. Your truth becomes our tale. Your likes and comments keep these stories alive. Until next time, may your prayers be your own. May your offerings be refused. Good night.